horse players! Welcome to Oaklawn Capping Hour. Man, I am back at my home studio, and I was gone for 15 days. My dad's birthday, New Year's. We had some horses running at Oaklawn. Orthodox Christmas. We ordained a new priest down there. Marco, you're a big part of that. Marco, you are the vice president of the church down there?
Yes, I am. Vice president of St. Archangel Michael Serbian Orthodox Church in Hot Springs, 384 Mount Riante Road.
It was it's a beautiful church, and we had a great ceremony, and it's really neat to get everything started there, because there's a lot of nice history down there, and you guys have done a great job with that. So, Oaklawn Park, last week we had a lot of eventful things. I capped for a dry surface one day, and it rained, and I did terrible. I think I lost every race. Then I capped really hard for the next race or next card, and they canceled racing. And so I got back home, and I'm like, you know what? I'm going to dig deep, and I'm looking at the weather report. I'm doing this, doing that, and I think I'm ready. I think I'm ready for this week. We have an awesome guest, Steve DeCaspers, aka don't call him Anthony, right?
Don't call me Anthony. That's right.
Don't call him Anthony. You might see that right on the leaderboards, but on horse
Anthony is my official name, but I go by Steve.
Correct. All right. So it's no secret you're a Pittsburgh Steelers fan.
Pittsburgh Steelers fan altogether. We're 9.5-point dogs. Looks like it's going to be an off track in Buffalo as well. And as we know, anything can happen on an off track. So I am hopeful. I'm excited. And I probably would give up a few winners for a Steelers victory this weekend, if that's possible. But I put in my handicapping energy, and I'm ready to take a shot today.
Yeah, 10-point dogs. You know what? You guys tried Pickett. You guys tried our guy Mitch. Who, my God, he got worse than he was in Chicago.
Yeah.
And what's the name of the guy now? He's been there for a while.
We have Mason Rudolph now. Mason Rudolph,
wow,
the quarterback who saved Christmas. Basically, why wouldn't he be named Rudolph? Steve, I want to point something out. I think the Steelers have the defensive rookie of the year in Joey Porter Jr., who, if you look at all the advanced stats, he was a shutdown corner this year, and we wouldn't have had him without that trade for the second-round draft pick from Chicago.
Chase Claypool.
Well, so wow. Thank you, Bears. We appreciate it.
Who landed in Miami? Who is he cut from Miami?
He's done nothing.
Yeah, the guy. He was on my fantasy team when he busted in as a rookie, caught like 10 TDs with Roethlisberger, and the guy disappeared. I don't know his attitude. He's got a bad attitude.
He does have a bad attitude.
But good luck to your Steelers, and they're going to need it. But hey, you're in the playoffs. My team has got the number 1 pick again, and we got the 9th pick, and we fired our offensive coordinator, and we'll see what they do. I mean, I'd like to get Marvin Harrison Jr., but we'll talk about that on a different show.
Sure.
So I'd like to start off the show with some NHC news. You are double qualified, and
yes,
you just qualified for the second time in a recent contest. Tell me a little bit about that.
Yeah, the January 1st contest, it was I'll be honest with you, after I qualified first, I probably wasn't thinking about playing any contests, but January 1st, there's really nothing else to do. It was a special contest. They were giving away 5 seats. I thought to myself, let's take a shot. And I managed to have some luck, pick some winners, and come through. I think I finished 4th, I think. And it was one of those, you get down to the last race, and you start doing the calculations of who you need and everything like that. And I think I had a horse who was like the 4th choice in the race. So I had him covered, obviously. But I was in trouble to everything else but the 4-5 favorite. And it was one of those races where you didn't even have to root. The 4 to 5 favorite went straight to the front, opened up, and entering the stretch, I knew I had gotten the qualification. So it's nice. I've been double qualified. I've qualified 8 times. I was double qualified once before. My second time I was double qualified, and I finished in the money that year. I have not been double qualified since, so it'll be nice to have 2 entries this year.
Well, I remember one NHC. I was sitting right next to you, table over, and I think you finished 11th or 12th.
Oh yeah, I got nose. I got nose for the final table.
The final table by like 20 cents or something like that.
That was tough. I've never won $24,000 and felt worse.
Yeah, that was a tough break. But you know what? Double qualified. It's always good. They have a new thing this year where if you're double qualified, you get an entry to the first chance, last chance, which you took. And my dad's coming with me. He qualified at Hawthorne, and we upgraded to a nice suite at.
You have the option. You have the option to upgrade to the suite or take the entry. I'm going to take the entry.
Sweet. Marco, in that same contest, you finished 12th. I'll throw that little note out there.
That's a good point.
Yeah. I finished 12th, and right now I'm going to be holding up the signs, Coke and hookers.
Oh, boy. I wanted to get a picture with that guy.
That's where I'm sleeping. I'm going to be sleeping next to him.
When I go and get my Starbucks coffee at the Bellagio, I walk past that guy on the,
Yes. Yeah. Oh, yeah. You got a great picture with that guy last year.
Yeah. So with the NHC, I'm gonna take a trip to Sam Houston at the end of the month. Texas Mike does a great job. I prepaid. He's taking care of some of my hotel rooms down there. And then there's a contest which I don't have on here, sandwiched between that and Hawthorne, which is our friends down at Indiana Grant. We're going down there. You've done well there, Steve. You've picked up a lot of points there, qualified there before. So. And then our Hawthorne contest on February 17th and 18th is a $300 buy-in, and they're also giving out seats for next year for us.
Yeah, so I think that's the question. Why would 2 double qualified people be going and playing contests, right? Still going and playing contests. Well, you are on the bubble for earning money in the tour, so you've got to be playing, right? And I'm really rooting for you. But secondly, with the Indiana contest and the Hawthorne contest, it's the choice of either this year or next year. So there's a benefit. I'm not chasing the tour. I'm not in position. Let's put it that way, the way that you are. But I would love to get my 2025 qualification knocked out as early as possible.
Yep. Yeah. Same here. I think our buddy Rich Nielsen has like 8 entries in the next 5 years or something like that.
Rich
That's a standing joke.
33. He's like, he's taking deferrals, like that pitcher for the Dodgers is. Yeah.
Oaklawn Park, Steve. What do you know about Oaklawn Park? Have you been to Oaklawn Park?
Yeah. So I've never actually been there, Steve. I've heard good things. I remember a couple of, and I hear it's a little bit like the Saratoga of the South, right? Sort of, hot springs, very similar to Saratoga Springs, and so many different barns from so many different places come together that it's a real handicapping puzzle, right? And so I remember a couple things about Oaklawn Park. I remember the first impression I had of Oaklawn Park was the Oaklawn Park Handicap, and the Wicked North won the Oaklawn Park Handicap. I'm going to say 1994, maybe 1993 or something like that. I can't exactly remember what, but I do remember. I do remember that. Obviously, remember betting Silver Goblin to beat Cigar in that Oaklawn Park handicap, and that didn't work out. I'm the guy who bet against Cigar like 9 times during the 17 race winning streak.
You got Darren Go, I assume.
I remember Val Hall with the
buzzer.
with the buzzer winning of the Arkansas Derby. I remember Pat Day. I remember Pat Day's dominance early in my racing career in the 90s, and then of course late Garrett Gomez dominated for many years here as well. I don't see a dominant jockey this year. That was actually one of the one of the things I noticed. I'm more of a Gulfstream and Santa Anita man, but I do look at Oaklawn, and you guys, frankly, have gotten me more interested in Oaklawn. I also like full fields, and man, it's just unbelievable how many horses are in each race at Oaklawn Park.
Yeah, big fields, lots of money. Allowance races for 142,000, maiden special weights 115,000. I think the cheapest races are like $30,000. So lots of money there at Oaklawn. Steve, I talked about the weather. Marco, let's talk about the weather. It's going to rain. It's raining there now, I assume.
You know,
look out the window.
A little bit earlier, but it hasn't started yet, and they said it's going to be starting tonight or right around now. And I don't hear nothing.
Okay.
So
okay, well, I handicap for an off track, so
I did as
I'm not
well.
getting a curveball.
I mean, we're supposed to. I mean, it's a big chance of rain, 80-90%. So
okay, it's coming.
And then it should be nice, and it'll stop right before post time. The track should be wet as shit, and then the next couple of days after that, it's gonna be very cold.
Yeah, I think it's going to be upper 50s tomorrow. When I looked at the weather report with rain, it's going to be decent. It's going to be pretty good on Saturday, sunny, 48, 50. But then a cold front is moving in for Sunday, and then into dark days of Monday and Tuesday. I know we're up here in Chicago area and Wisconsin area, DeCaspers. We're going to be getting like a winter vortex.
We're going to be getting hammered. Yeah, absolutely.
And I saw down there in Hot Springs, you're going to get a high of 18 degrees, Marco, on Monday. So button up.
Yeah, and the whole town will shut down. Everybody will be running around like it's the end of the world.
Yeah, they go to Kroger and they buy the milk, bread, and eggs.
Yeah, everything will be gone. All you got to do is hang tight for a couple of days, and it'll be 60 degrees again.
Marco, our ROI is taking a beating just because of I don't know, a number of factors, but these are a $2 mythical win place in every race. There's no cap. If I hit a 30-1 shot, I'm in the black. So, let's chip away, Mark. Let's see if we can chip away. I did put a early pick five ticket together based on all three of our picks that you sent. Well, your picks, DeCaspers, and Marco, your picks. I put them in with mine. There is a horse that we all landed on that I singled. So that'll be scrolling on the bottom. Well, without further ado, let's dive into the card.
Oh my God.
The first race is a $45,000 claiming event, non-winners of 2 life, $49,000 purse. These look to be all 3-year-old fillies. And I landed on the 2 horse. We're kind of spread around here. I like the Bug Boy. We have a lot of horses on a farm, Starfish Farms. Linda, I forgot her last name. Met her.
Linda Robbins.
Great lady. Knows her stuff. And she likes this kid, Bellamere. He won a race a couple of weeks ago. Apparently he was under the weather last week. Chris Hartman caught my eye because he put this guy on. So, you're a 10-pound bug. This horse looks good anyway. 10-1 is a nice price on an animal dropping out of a really tough race. Hartman gives me confidence to pick this horse, and it's going to have some early zip, and it's just going to wake up a little bit today. So that's why I landed there. DeCaspers, you landed on the 1 horse, Adios Muchachas.
Yeah, sort of a lesser the evils pick for me. I look at this race and I do not like what I see for the most part. I gravitated actually originally to Subway Susie, the number 6, right? Sort of seeing her on the class drop. She's had some good races before, but then I looked at it a little bit harder and I was just like, I want no part of this. First off, I think she'll be below her 9-2 price on the morning line. Secondly, the Jordan family is cold to start off the Oaklawn meet. I can't remember what her name is. Is it Katie? Is it Katie Jordan? Kylie Jordan's the jock. She's won for 37. Her dad's the trainer. He's 0 for 5 or 0 for 6. You got to stay away from horses like this. I like your 2. I thought the 2 was a very logical choice. I think you'll be up front. But I went with the 1. Ingrid Mason claimed for 40 out of a Keeneland race where she had trouble. She's got decent works. They get Arietta on. I just think there's a little bit to play off of here. And when in a race where I don't like a lot, taking a price and taking a shot with this one is my thought. I thought the 7 had a chance to run on and get a piece of it as well. Taking the blinkers off. She's run decent in the past.
Yeah, I like that. I like that move. Plus, that horse is getting some class relief.
Yep.
Marco, you land on Marco Sunset. Kenny
Of course I
McPeak
did.
With Julian Leperoux. Yeah, of course you did. It's exiting a victory for a maiden 20. The waters get a little bit deeper here. Second time Lasix. Maybe the Lasix woke it up a little bit, or was it just the class? But either way, it showed some speed from the 12 hole, and you like it again today.
Yep. He won last out New Year's Day, and he did show a big improvement with the addition, of Lasix, and that kind of caught my eye. And that was a maiden race, and this is his first run versus winners. But I like the fact that he's run well recently and locally. And McPeak and LaPeroux are pretty much on fire. So I'm gonna, stick with it. Don't fix what's not broken right now. I think he has another good run in tomorrow.
Yeah, you're going to be prominent early, and you're going to definitely be in the mix. And, I like to tell, and Dylan Donnelly, I say this all the time. He laughs when I say this. Maybe this horse hits the front and puffs its chest out. Keeps going. All right, the pick 5 scrolling. I went 1, 2, 3, 4, 7. So we're 5 deep there. Race number 2. Let's see. Me and Marco landed on the exact same exacta. And DeCaspers, you come in with the 7 and the 12. Steve, tell me about your 7 here, Mr. Works.
Yeah, I think Mr. Works is, it's interesting. I think it's a positive trainer switch. Coming off of the layoff, you'll note that when Greg Compton is the first time with Greg Compton, he hits up at about 25%. He has sent horses off 180-day layoffs before. I think this horse has a little bit of speed, so can be close up. And again, in a race where the 3, the 4, and the 8 are your droppers in here and make total sense, I just sort of wanted to go in a slightly different direction. The morning line has this horse at 3-1. I don't think this horse is going to go off at 3-1. I would be surprised if he does. I would have to make a different decision here.
Yeah, I agree with you. I felt, the morning line does look low, and you're coming off of the classic, the Oaklawn connection layoff. These horses always at Oaklawn seem to do this, but it's not uncommon. But yeah, 3-1. I definitely think you're going to go off much higher. Marco, me and you both landed on the 4 Doc Higgins. For me, it is a 4-year-old, so I don't mind the plunge here. They've been trying to work with it. It's not like they're giving up on it, like a 2-year-old or a 3-year-old. They're not giving up on, a young horse. It's 4 now. Maybe it's a tax write-off. They spent a lot of money on it. It's got it's got the hood, and it's dropping down, and it's the Asmussen combination.
It's pretty much what I'm on as well. Nothing to see here except for the big drop. Maiden special weight to maiden claiming. It's a 12.5. Should be able to wake up.
Yeah, and then with the 8, Smack Over Lime. Again, just like you can't run with Lasix at 2, but at 3, it's got Lasix now. Although it ran January 1st, and ironically, they did not give it Lasix that day. So I don't know what the reasoning was behind that. But it's getting class relief, and the winners of these last 2 races are really, really good. So obviously, it should wake up here.
And that one has a half sister the Mary Rose. You've heard of her.
Oh yeah.
And she
That's
banked.
That's an Arkansas bred stakes, multiple stakes winner.
Yeah, she banked over 500K in 21 starts, and so that's kind of encouraging. Maybe we can get a little bit of love in the bloodline here.
All right, so we go a little bit deep here with 4 horses on our pick 5. All right, let's move on to race 3. Again, this is the one where we single, and we all land on the exact same horse. This is a 15,000 non-2 life event, and the 8 is Oh My God. I mean, I guess the idea here is it's claimed by John Horan, and it ran well on and off track. It's second time blinkers. Looks like a logical spot. It's got speed. I mean, what's not to like, right, guys? Who wants to go?
Yeah, I mean, this is a very logical choice. Managed to duel and and just go on in the last race. I actually, the debut, even though he finished second, she finished second, was very fast, and a couple of horses have come out of that race and done well. So I just see this as very logical. I think the one warning sign is, they claimed for 50, then they ran for 12.5. I mean, they really dropped. So I'm going to guess that she's a pretty fragile horse. But as long as they keep her, going, I think I'm just not sure how anything else in here beats her.
Yeah, I think she's going to get the front. We have the Pete Miller shipper from Del Mar. You got that California Speed coming over. They put the hood on that one. It's 8-5 morning line, but I'm going to try and beat it, and we'll see if the 10's going to like an off track, where we know that the 8 likes an off track. So that was kind of like the equalizer for myself. As far as my backup, me and Marco actually have that Pete Miller as our backup. If it does like the mud and it's able to, it's going to work out a trip there, whether it's in front or just tracking the pace. It should be tough. Steve, your backup was the 5.
We've got a couple of excuses in the last 2 for the 5. Bejarano gets on, thinking, maybe we can clunk up for second or third.
Okay. Yeah. Well, let's hope our single comes in. We all liked it. I felt obligated to single it, keep the ticket cheap because we're deep elsewhere for a $200 ticket. So let's go. Oh my God. And let's see if we can pull that race off. Race 4. It's a 20,000 claiming event. Another non-winners of 2. This is going 2 turns, mile and 16th. We're kind of like all over the place here, and it's that type of race. I landed on the 9 horse, who is Life on the Nile. I have a note on this horse: bet on turf debut. That's what I'm looking for out of this horse. If it ever gets on turf, I want to bet it. But I like this. A lot of time turf horses can run on and off track, and this one is no exception. It won 2 back at Delaware. The last race was just, you go back and look at the company lines. It was way too tough. I mean, it took forever for this gelding to graduate. And then once it did, they're like, okay, it won a maiden special weight. Let's throw it into the wolves. And that was a very tough 50,000 starter allowance race. And
hey, Steve-O, do you have this horse going to the front?
Well, that was my thinking. I was thinking, I like the price first off. I like the company lines. It's got a win on the mud. It's going turf to dirt, but I do like the speed. And I see this horse getting outside position on the 4, the Diodoro runner, and hopefully I can get the front on it.
It's funny. The 4 did not make the front in his first 7 starts or something like that. Right. And he did 2 back, and then he dueled for it. But man, those were really slow fractions. So I think if they gun this horse, if they gun this 9, I'm not sure the 4 wants it or needs it. And the 9 might, as you like to say, get brave and puff his chest out a little bit.
Puff that chest out, yeah.
Puff it out.
Yeah, Marco, the 12 is Boogie Bodie, and that was your
Boogie
tough.
Bodie. Yeah. He ran a game third here, sprinting in last race. He finished behind and was gaining on the second place finisher in that race, Master of Arms, who he won his next out here January 1st in a claiming 24 non-2 life. So that was kind of a good race, I think. They got him ready for this one. And he also ran well in his only dirt 2-turn race on a good surface. So he can handle the wet surface. Today will be the longest distance he's ever ran, but I think he should be close early. Nice stalking position, and then see if he can just power home.
Yeah, and what I do want to note,
the jock move is super positive here too, Marco. I mean, going from Chuan to Santana is, that's worth several lengths.
And we actually like Chuan a little bit.
Okay,
we do.
Chuan's young and hungry. Santana's definitely proven.
Yeah. I do want to point out you're getting a 6-pound weight advantage on my pick, Marco, and your horse is stretching out. Like you mentioned, it did show a little bit of zip and then tracked 3 back. So, again, another one that I might have to contend with on the front, but I'm hoping that I get first call going into that first turn. DeCaspers, the 7 is my brother Keith.
So, well, we all know that Steve has a brother named Keith Asmussen, right? I mean, when they take an Arrogate and they name it after a family member, you got to think the horse has some talent, right? But it really hasn't worked out. We
have a horse like that. My brother Mike.
Yeah, no, that's what I was thinking. That's what I was thinking about.
And it's got similar running lines.
No, here's the thing. I don't think Keith was involved in this at all. I think it's because it wasn't originally owned by the Asmussens or anything like that. I just think it's funny. Here's the deal. I've got a note on this horse, 2 back at Churchill. Had a little bit of early trouble, but man, he ran a 61 buyer figure. It was a tough race. It looked like actually a very good $16,000 maiden claimer at Churchill. He comes back at Turfway and just kind of as a gutty closing run to win, the $15,000 claimer. Now they end up here. This horse looks like he can kind of run on all surfaces. And if the 4 and the 9 go out and do each other in, I kind of see this horse coming up from behind. So that's kind of where I was thinking about this.
Yeah, that horse could definitely get a nice little setup. Second off of a small layoff, and second time blinkers last time was the winning ticket there. And nice win there at Turfway Park. I wonder if Frank Mustari had that horse on his ticket.
Good question. And I would be remiss if I didn't mention the 5 as well, who I think could crash trifectas. He's actually run well going long. Doesn't have the layoff line, but he was off since November 24th. Comes back going 6 furlongs. Kind of just breaks poorly, closes into that. Looks very preppish, if you ask me. And now he's getting the distance that he likes. So I think that horse could really crash the trifecta at a nice price.
Yeah, I mean, it's a tough race. There's a lot of, honestly, when you scan through it, and you hear this all the time, but man, you could literally make a case.
You could
about every horse.
Yeah, and if the 13 gets in, you better add him to your tickets too.
Okay. Do I? Oh, yeah, I think I did. Yeah, I wrote it down. If it gets in, Marco, it'll be on our ticket.
Yeah.
All right. So
I just something about him that just watch out.
All right. Well, to round out our pick 5, we have Archiebreds, and this is a maiden special weight event for Archiebreds, and you gotta love that purse, $115,000. I have a horse that's probably not going to get in. It's Rhino Wrecker. It's 7-2, kind of a boring line, but to me, these have to show that it can run this fast, and this one did well on an off track in its debut. Got a really nice 57 buyer speed figure. and it showed speed, got a little tired. A lot of times second out, these speed faders, they keep going a little bit further and faster the second time. And if it gets in, I want that horse on my ticket, but I have a feeling that none of these are. These guys have been waiting all year to get these horses in this race, and there's not a chance in hell I don't think the 14 gets in. The 2 is my most likely top selection then, with the 14 not getting in. And basically with this horse, guys, it's an Arkansas bred that was at Saratoga and was holding its own in open company. And if that's the case, this Mike Maker, speedy gelding is with first Lasix coming out of those tough Saratoga races is going to be really tough to beat, in my opinion. And if I can get 4-1, I'd be happy with that. Steve, you landed on the 11, and then after that, it gets kind of dicey.
Yeah, and I would tell you, I have no idea what's going to happen here. I just want to make sure to say that to all of you. No idea. I think you got to pay pretty close attention to really zone in on the Arky bred maiden scene. However, I'm going to point out one thing. Gentle Ben is by a stallion named Gentleman's Bet, who's a really good sprinter in the Midwest. Actually showed up at Saratoga in the Grade 1 Vanderbilt and ran a good third. He's a speedy type, and his horses, the runners he's had have actually done really well on an off track. I did like literally 15 seconds of half-assed internet research to find out that that there's a little bit of a shot here. And then, just for good measure, trainer Al Cates puts in the 35-3 from the gate on the good track on January 7th. If this horse takes any money, I think he's got a little bit of a shot. Outside of that, I have no idea what's going to happen.
Hence the all afterwards.
Hence the all button, yes.
But that's a good point. That's a really nice drill. It was 3/8, but it was a bullet, 35 and change. And for an Arky, bred, that's something definitely to look at. The jock, again, will get
the jock is that's a tough ride. I'll tell you that much. Yeah.
The jock will get you that price. Nice girl. I think she needs to, well, I shouldn't say anything. I haven't seen her up close, but I've just heard really nice things about her.
Okay.
But I think I would like to see her finish a little stronger as for my liking. And she will. She'll get experience. And I know she's not a bug, but maybe she'll get a little bit better. Marco, the 7 is Unnecessary Tricks.
Yeah, you got to love these Arky bred maiden special weights.
And these names.
I think they are the most fun races to handicap for some reason. I don't know. Maybe because I bred an Arkansas bred and I'm into them. But yeah, it's filled with a bunch of first time starters. Maybe minus 3 or 4 horses here. So you can throw darts, and here I am throwing a dart.
Are your kids Arkansas breds as well, Marco? Would you consider them Arkansas bred?
My son is a Texas bred.
Texas bred. Okay. All right.
Yeah. I was in Texas for the last seven
That's
years.
true.
So
That's true.
I just moved back here like a couple months ago.
That's right.
Unnecessary Tricks. Yeah. This horse is going to probably be like 30-40-1 by post time. I'm not familiar with the trainer.
Well, Gary, isn't his nickname?
Gary's been around forever.
That's Red, right? Red Hartlett?
I'm not sure.
Didn't he train the Apple Blossom winner? It was like 8 years ago.
He's been a very good trainer for a very long time.
Okay.
Doesn't seem like he has many horses now.
Yeah, there's nothing much lately on him. And Chelsea Bailey, the jockey, the MMA girl, she's
she's strong now.
She only has one win at the meet.
Yeah.
So, but I liked a couple of works here, and then I was digging a little bit deeper. All 4 siblings are winners. 2 of them were in the upper 80s in buyer speed figures, and 3 of the 4 have run well in wet conditions. And the other one never ran on it, so I think it's a good race to try for a bomb.
Yeah, I like that. I like that horse on our ticket, and Chelsea's a strong rider. She could probably choke us all out, and I'm just throwing that out there because she fights in the MMA. I don't know if does she still fight, Marco?
I have no idea, but
She went from MMA fighter to jock.
Yeah, she's like Bruce Lee.
Wow. I've got some jocks that I would love to send to the MMA. That's what I'd
Yeah,
like
would that be awesome?
Other direction. Hey, real quick. That is Red Dog Hartledge, and his best horse was a horse named Judge TC, who won a
Judge
whole bunch of stakes.
TC. And who was his Apple Blossom winner in like 2012, 2013?
I don't know.
Does it say? I was there that day, and I have a video of him, and he was like so pumped up, and then he had some tears of joy. It was a great moment. I was right next to his whole entourage when they won that race. Anyway, Marco, you landed on my top pick as your backup, who's going to be
8-5.
Well, actually, it's my backup pick that's going to be my top pick.
It's going to be the favorite.
It's going to be the favorite, probably, right?
Yeah.
All right. Well, we have it on our ticket, nonetheless. All right. Well, that rounds out our pick 5, guys. It's a $200 ticket. I think we are well represented here, and we all picked the 8 horse in the third leg, so hopefully it'll win for us. Race number 6 is a claiming event, straight 30, $60,000 purse going 3 quarters.
Woo!
Fillies and mares.
$30,000 claimers.
I know it. And for fillies and mares, and I landed on the 5. And the reason why I landed on the 5 is I don't know if you're paying attention to DeCaspers, but Norm McKnight has found the mojo. He was on fire here about 5 years ago, 4 years ago, and then he got a little quiet. But man, all of these horses that are going from sin to the dirt are all running. And I know this horse ran on dirt before, but it's doing well here. It's got some sneaky drills, and he's winning with these horses. And I like this one's no exception. They're all coming in off of a small little layoff like this. They're all working well, and they're all popping. And it shows that he's got only 2 wins, but all of his horses are right there. It seems like even the ones that are off the board, they got like close, like 4ths most likely if I dig deep. But I like this horse. He's doing well. The horse is traveling well. Like I said, I like his sin to dirt angle.
Yeah. And you got Rocco Bowen. He's one of your favorites.
We love Rocco. Rocco rode for us at Hawthorne, won a lot of races for us over there a couple years ago. And I just can't wait for Hawthorne. That's a whole other story to get everything rolling over there. It's our home track, and better days ahead over there. Marco, 12. No, 7. You got the 12 as your backup. DeCasper says 12 is his top pick.
You pattern bet. This is a local horse, and I always play it. Always. It's just one of those I always land on. Moquette. I like Moquette because remember Whitmore. That's one of my favorite horses of all time, so I'm familiar with Moquette. But this girl, she's 8 for 12 in the exacta. I think she looks tough today with some pace to run at, and she's done some nice work coming off the pace. And we're getting later in the card, and they tend to come off the pace more as the day goes on. For some reason, that just seems how Oaklawn plays to me. Problem is she likes to come in second more than she likes to win. But I like the setup today, and she's also the Arkansas bred here, and she proved that she can win outside of Arkansas. So
yeah, and Ellis is tough. So that was a really nice race there. It was the favorite though, and it won.
10-1. I like the price, and like I said, I always play this horse. So DeCaspers 12 here is 5-2. I was up in the air in both of them, but I just landed on this one just because it's a homer bet.
Okay, and Steve, you did land on that 12 at 5-2, coming off of this 6-month layoff or so, 7-month layoff from Prairie Meadows. Has run here before. I guess you think this horse is ready?
Yeah, so a couple of things here. I think sometimes we try and make this game a little too complicated. I would tell you that in a lot of these races, it feels like 8 horses are within a length and a half of each other and stuff like this. I think this horse is going to air. What is not to like about this horse? First off, proven ability to come off of the layoff and win. Has done that or run fast. I did it and ran second one time. Won by 7 3/4 second time and came off the layoff. So the horse can do it. 5 of 6 in the 5 of 6 in the money at Oaklawn, so likes the track. 2 for 3 with a second place finish at in the wet. Looks very handy and will have speed from the outside. I just think this horse. I'll be shocked if this horse doesn't dominate. Now, so 5 to 2, 2 to 1, even 8 to 5. Who cares? I think this horse is. This is probably my strongest opinion about a horse on the card. I like the 2 and the 6 underneath, but I will tell you, I think you and Marco make great cases for the 5 and the 7 as well. Maybe I'll do something with a nice trifecta key using my 12 on top. I just don't want to get too complicated about this. Oh, last point about this filly. Didn't have Lasix last time. She ran in like a small stakes race at Prairie Meadows, so gets the juice back, and I think that'll be helpful as well.
Yeah, duly noted on that. Didn't notice that. And look, it is a horse for course angle here, definitely. I mean, all the races are spectacular. The only something obviously went wrong that day, losing by 37 lengths and finished. It just stopped running. All the other races, it's right there and comes in with a bullet. So, and then trainer jockey combination, 44%. Last couple of years tells
the works are sharp too. I mean, I just think this horse really checks all the boxes.
Well, yeah, I thought the same thing with that horse. I thought it was the one to beat. Very strong.
I was even like, oh man, they're bringing her back. They're bringing her back for a tag, But then I looked and it's like they claimed her for 30, so they're just running her where she can win.
And look at the purse, 60,000.
Oh, by the way, look at the purse. They might as well be running. They are running for more money in a $30,000 claimer at Oaklawn Park than she ran in a stakes race at Prairie Meadows. That's all you need to know about Oaklawn Park.
Yeah.
And why it has so many people, so many trainers, so many horses showing up. I just wish they'd have an NHC contest so I could have an as well.
That is a conversation that was going on Twitter. Trey Styles was talking about it, me, some other people, and
look, I've already said the 12 is going to win this by 7, so I might as well just go all out. Oaklawn, just take Hawthorne's rules, copy them, throw the name Oaklawn at the top of the page, and I'm telling you, 100 at least, probably 150 horse players will show up from out of town and bet like madmen all day for 3 days.
Yes.
If you do a Friday, Saturday, Sunday contest.
That would be great.
It's so simple.
And not only are the horse players, a lot of them play the casino too. So
true,
I'm sure they're going to wander
around. Oh, dude, every horse player I know wants to go to the casino. But it's amazing how many horse players that we know that have never been to Oaklawn because they don't have contests.
No, and then you're not going to get them to go to the casino. I mean, they're going to go to the casino in Oklahoma, Louisiana, wherever they are over there. Chicago's got them. I mean, there's no put the horse track there in the contest, then you got gambling.
It is so frustrating, and hopefully one day they'll get their act together. They had a great contest. My first contest ever was in 07 there. And I finished 4th. I was day 1 leader. It was a 2-day event. They had a great buffet. It was mimicked after the NHC really at the time. And it was a beautiful thing, and they did away with it. And I'm still scratching my head why. But we made our case. Yeah. Race 7. This is a starter allowance. It's basically an open starter allowance. And it's $50,000. It's $68,000 purse. Fillies and mares going 3/4. And I landed on the 2. You did as well, Marco. This is St. Benedict's Prep. And my notes are cuts back. I love the Caspers. You were making fun of our guy Chuan. I like this guy. I like this guy.
There was more of a compliment to Santana.
Okay, I'll give you that.
A knock on Chuan. Yeah.
I like how this guy gets into the horse, you know, and he knows how to he moves those reins around and he tries to get you a check every time. And you know, this horse faced winners and held his own, where a lot of these there's a couple of these that just came off of a maiden score and they're lower odds. But anyway, that's my top pick. Marco, what do you have to add to it?
I think it's going to get a dream trip. All the speed is on the outside. The seven horse going the distance looks really fast, and probably is going to be able to get that good position. This is the first versus winners, and hopefully there's more pressure on the outside, more pressure, and then they get all hung wide. And I think it just sets up beautifully for St. Benedict's prep. And she has been tested before, and then she's cutting back, stalk and pounce. I think that's an order for this race.
And if you like to dive into the family, it does have a half sister that won by 9.5 lengths in the slop at Churchill Downs, misread. So, if that's anything, maybe it can only help, right? Steve, the 6 horse is Ribbons in Her Hair at 15-1, and I know you like this horse's.
This is my
your long shot price play of the day.
This is my price play of the day. And I'm actually going to use your horse to kind of explain my logic on this horse. So, Steve-O, St. Benedict's prep, ran her last 2 races on dirt, a 69 and a 74 from a buyer speed figure standpoint, which for everybody looking at the form, that is in the zone of what it's going to take to win this race. Secondly, I will also say, Marco, you are right. There is a lot of heat early in this race. There are a lot of horses who are going to want the front. I think this will be the fastest pace of the day. When I look at Ribbons in Her Hair, she is a newly trained 4-year-old. And when you go back to April and May of her 3-year-old season, right, when she is just kind of starting to start up, she runs a 70 and a 71 buyer speed figure over this racetrack.
Boom.
When you're early in your 3-year-old season, there is still a lot of maturing that needs to take place. And some horses can gain 2, 3, 4, 5 buyer speed figure points each month as they mature. Now, obviously, that didn't happen with this filly. She kind of went wrong at Canterbury, came back at Hawthorne and ran okay, but not nearly as fast as she ran at Oaklawn. They took her to Laurel, and in a $40,000 race, which made her eligible for this, by the way, she had a bad start, wide trip going 5.5, but actually closed pretty well into that race. The filly that won is pretty fast and just took the lead and ran. I just kind of tend to think this filly will sit a decent trip off the pace with a very fast pace in front of her, and maybe because she likes this racetrack, be able to run on by at what is going to be a very, very good price. Now, I got a 10-pound bug on, so there is a lot that can go wrong during that race. So I need to get the price on this filly. And McLean Robertson's a great trainer, good works. I'm a little confused and puzzled by why we go to the 10-pound bug, Bealmere, CJ Bealmere, JC Bealmere. But he's 1 for 8 on the year, and we'll see what he can do.
Well,
here.
remember our gal at the farm, Starfish.
This is your gal likes this guy, right?
Yeah. So
perfect.
This kid can ride a little bit, we think, and this is a good pick. I mean, it didn't get the good start. It skipped around in the mud and got up for 4th, and
I like it.
I like it as a long shot play of the day. I mean, why not? And you're right, you might get more than that 15-1 morning line. So everybody make a note of that. That's Steve DeCaspers' long shot price play of the day. I think we're well represented there. Well, and guys listening, you guys can put a ticket together, late pick 5 with these selections. I just did the early pick 5, and I didn't put anything together for the late one. The feature is race 8. It is a optional claiming $100,000 race with a $143,000 pot. This is a rare distance that I don't see at Oaklawn very often.
What is it? We got the friggin' Preakness over here or something?
Yeah,
like that?
mile and 3/16. And I think they do run a Preakness prep now at the end of the meet the last couple of years on Derby Day. So, or before Derby week, I can't remember, for 3-year-olds. So this is a cool looking races. These are older horses, and a lot of familiar names in here that we kind of know. I landed on Time for Trouble.
We all landed on the same horse here, Steve.
Actually, holy cow! Wait a minute.
This is
we did.
Steve and Marco lock of the day here, I think.
I remember earlier in race 3 we did, and it didn't even compute that we landed on the same horse here. We all land on Time for Trouble. Well, you know what, Steve?
15-1.
Steve, I'm going to let you discuss this horse and kick us off.
Well, so first off, the three of us could not handicap this race without noting what an important horse the 2 Command Performance is in our Lone Speed group text, because our good friend Justin Dew basically appointed this horse the next spectacular bid during his 2-year-old season. And if you take a look at the form, you can see that that prediction has not worked out very well. I will say, I actually think he's got an excuse for the last race, though. And I think he's actually very well positioned in this race. So he's my second pick. But Time for Trouble, there are a lot of horses here in this race who are kind of off form, right? Like you just, whether it's Dash Attack, who was fast early, who was running well earlier this year, but man, the last 2 have been brutal. Strava looked terrible last time out. Haywood's Beach is another stakes running horse who just doesn't seem himself. I kind of looked at this and said, how do I find a horse who is really running and wants to try and tries hard and seems to be on form? And that's where I landed on Time for Trouble. When you put this horse, why they put this horse on turf, I have no idea, right? But when this horse is on dirt, he tries real hard. He tries in the slop. He tries at Fairgrounds. He tries at Churchill. He tries at Keeneland, everywhere. So you just sort of feel like this horse will just put in a really, really good run for you.
Yeah, I look, it's 2 for 2 on a off track. The last race, comes off that Kentucky Downs race and had some time off. It won the race. It got a 77. I'm not going to look at the buyer speed figure. Second time off the layoff, it's going to be that much more stronger. You look at some of the other races, deep down there, the Keeneland race, the win at Churchill and the slop and actually a claiming crown race, the Iron Horse. So it shows that it can win on and off track. It's got recency. It's probably going to run a much faster race this time, at least when it comes to that buyer speed figure this time. And it likes to win. It's a 10-time winner. Lots to like. Back to Command Performance. That race 2 back, I texted the group. I don't know if you remember this, DeCaspers, but I'm like, Justin, Command Performance is running. Do you like the horse? I kind of like it a little bit. He goes, no. That was it. Just N-O.
No,
well,
it's one of the rare horses he's divorced.
I played it. I hit a contest in there online. I won money on it, and 13-1 that day. I'm like, Justin, how do you not come back to that thing? And yeah, I think he just kind of blew it off. But it's 5-1 in here. I played it last time, and it had some issues there. But you're right. It's probably gonna run much better than that last one.
Any speculation on why they run this horse on turf? Like I have no idea why they would ever run this horse on turf again.
No.
Are you talking about our top pick, the 3?
I'm asking about the top. I'm asking about our top pick.
Yeah.
It just makes no sense to me.
Yeah, they keep going to that well. I think they're looking at that early success, but it's run much faster on dirt. I mean,
Yeah.
even when it lost to Next, I mean, Next ran off the screen that day, but still got a good number at Saratoga in that weird 1.75 mile race. So distance is not going to be a problem for this horse. Those are the two things: distance, second off the layoff angle, and it likes an off track. It should, and it's 15-1. We all like a 15-1 shot. Marco, throw something at me on this thing.
Well, if you look at this, look at him. You could have bought him for $8,000 in 2021. $8,000. And obviously here, if you look at his last 2 years versus his early in his career, 7 of his 10 wins came in the last 2 years. So he just pretty much grew up and matured into a professional racehorse. He's now a 10-time winner, and he runs his race whether it's an optional claiming 15 or if it's a $200,000 stake race. He shows up, and I like the way he shows up recently. Last 2 years, I mean, he's just banked over almost 400,000 in the last 2 years alone.
I like it. My backup, John Sadler, if he's gonna take the time to ship all the way out here with this horse, I'm like, all right, I'll throw the Santa Anita handicap out. Last time at Del Mar, all right, whatever. I said, why not? I'll throw it as my backup at 8-1. There was no other rhyme or reason other than the fact that, hey, he's sending it here. Why? The horse must be at least feeling good, and it's probably going to run back to one of those better numbers, which are pretty fast. And it's got a lot of back class. Steve, we mentioned, we talked about your two, Marco, the 4 Accidental Hero. It's 20-1. It looks slow as hell. Look, if this horse rounds out all right, go ahead.
To me, he just looks like a horse that's improving. He had a show going 1 mile and 3/8 last out. So so he can get the distance. He will be happening to come off the pace. I mean, we're going to see what kind of race this forms into if it turns stressful up top. That's what Accidental Hero will need. And the drills at Oaklawn right now in the morning are pretty good. So I think he can run fresh pretty good.
Listen, I won't rip on it any further. 79 buyer's favorite. Okay, is it
20? I mean, look, he's 20-1. He's improving, and if you get some pace,
yeah,
Oaklawn.
How dialed in is the Buyer Speed Figure team on Hastings Park and Century Mile, though? I'm wondering, I'm not sure they're giving that the same scrutiny as they're giving,
Yeah, you're probably right about that.
Anita and Belmont.
You're probably right about that. The horse did skip on the mud December 16th too, Marco. 101 and 4 there, a small sample size, 1 out of 5 black dot, but
it's just one that catches my eye. It could happen. I mean, we're going to need a meltdown, and obviously this thing's going to be coming from, way out of it, but it's Oaklawn Park, and I've seen stranger horses win.
It looks like a Dallas Stewart Derby pick or
a little bit. That's a good.
All right, well, we'll throw it on our ticket underneath. Okay, we'll do that. All right, that's going to be a fun race. Big money there. Race 9 is a maiden special weight. These are newly 3-year-old fillies. This is the nightcap. This is for your late double. We'll get paid on this double. If our 3 wins that first leg, I think whatever we can pick here, we're going to be looking good. I have the 8 as my top pick. Paces 2 cents. And this is one of my better opinions. I have this as my little price play of the day at 8-1. Hopefully I'll get over that. I don't know what you guys feel the price will be. But it exits a very tough turf debut. And, we're going turf to dirt where McPeak is 23% with that move. And it has a bullet on the mud. So back on December 16th. So I was like, I like this horse. I like the way La Perou's riding with McPeak. and all of those things mentioned. And I feel like, yeah, why not? Let's get a 3-8 double. That's going to pay like $250. Marco, you landed on the 11.
Light it up, Louie.
This is your price play.
This is my price play of the day.
Wow.
We got the maiden race here. There's a lot of, I don't know, just horses that didn't do first out, second out, and Light It Up Louie did not get a good start last out. But she did finish with some interest, and I kind of liked the way she was moving. I watched the replay. I mean, it wasn't much, but she didn't give up. And I'm interested to see this time what she can do with a clean break, and she's adding Lasix. And December 23rd was a workout. She was 3 out of 140.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I like that work, and I like kind of the way she hit the track last out, even with the bad start, and had a maintenance work since. And there's no telling what can happen here. You got Michael Maker training, and he's got a couple wins, at the meet. So it's a maiden special weight, and that's my bomb.
So Mike Maker versus Kenny McPeak. Marco's got Light It Up Louie, and I've got Pace's 2 cents. We're going head to head. I got to do an exacta box, and I'm going to do a 3-horse box with the DeCaspers top pick, the 4.
Well, hold on.
Hold on now.
First of all, hold on.
Right.
You got me with the 4. One of the other things I thought I saw read 3. I thought you had me down as having a 3-2 instead of a 4-2.
It was the 3 your top pick?
No. The 4 is definitely my top pick, but I want to change my pick to Marco's pick. No, I'm kidding. I'm kind of kidding. Marco, you're a half to a good horse too, right? I don't get it. Is fast. And he ran in the Santa Anita Derby this year. For Doug O'Neill. So I think Light It Up Louie is very interesting. Light It Up Louie looks like a horse that Lasix is really going to help as well, by the way. So I'll tell you where I'm coming from with the 4. So obviously, the 4 has the best last buyer speed figure of the race. He ran second by a head. It is what it is. Did Diodoro buy this horse or something like that? Or I don't know what the trainer change is.
Wait a minute. We came to the conclusion. Yeah, Steve, there was a suspension at Oaklawn for Diodoro last year.
Gotcha.
And he had to serve partial suspension, I believe, at the beginning of the year. So
gotcha. Okay. Here's my take on this. I thought this was a really good race. Several of the runners from this race have come back and run even faster buyer speed figures than they were credited for in this race. So could this be like an 83, 84, 85? If that's the case, this horse is going to run really well. He's the favorite. I will tell you, the other horse in this I have no idea why. I can't articulate it. This feels like a race where the coach is gonna run a little bit better. So that's why I kind of went to the 2. But I would like to add in Marco's case for the 11 is really good. I really like that case. So I'm gonna pay a lot of attention to Marco's choice here.
Yeah, Marco, you made some good points on that, and wow, I mean we can get paid.
Yeah, and I'm on your 8 as also, Steve. I like that. I took it.
And with our 3 in the last, with our 3 in race 8, I mean, if we can single that one in a double, we could do some pick 3s with that.
Yeah, and
maybe spread a little bit here. And we're looking at a big payday if we can connect on that 8th race and into this one. Chances are if we go 4 or 5 deep here, we'll hit one of these horses, and hopefully one of these price plays comes in. If not, we got our saver. And me and Marco have been disappointed with Diodoro so far. He hasn't really splashed on the scene.
Hated him. Yeah, he started pissing me off. I've been using him. He wasn't winning, so I've been fading him. When he ran that one horse last weekend, that was last straw for me.
I forgot to mention that with my pick was I knew Marco wouldn't be on this horse because he can't figure out Diodoro. The same problem I have with Chad Brown. He can't figure out Diodoro at all.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was just he's messing with my head this year.
Well, that's there's big balloons to be had here. We'll see what happens. Maybe a dime super as well. Let's see, what else do we got, guys? I think that's pretty much it. We got to just so everybody knows, Steve loves ribbons in her hair. Race
like
7.
That
he made a nice case for that. Go back and watch that. That's his long shot play. Me and Marco are going head to head in race 9 with our prize plays. Marco's got Lighted Up Louie, who made a nice case for. I didn't make a great case. Maybe I did for Pace's 2 cents, but yeah, I think I made a good case.
Oh, you can't count out McPeak.
So we'll see what happens there. Steve, your Twitter handle, if somebody wants to follow you.
At Steve DeCaspers. Yeah, it's just at Steve DeCaspers. That's my name.
That's it. First
yep.
name.
And if you
name.
want to read about my experience in my first NHC, you can Google Steve DeCaspers NHC or bust. My first NHC, I was asked by my former employer, the Thoroughbred Daily News, to write about the experience. And out of 30 bets, I didn't pick a single horse that ran in the money. And so I wrote about it for the Thoroughbred Daily News. I finished dead last. Never even got a call, to be perfectly honest with you. And it was quite a disappointment, but I felt like I channeled my disappointment into a pretty decent article. It's still out there on the internet, and you can go ahead and read about that. And you can read about the redemption the second year as well when we did.
Oh, good. There was a redemption in there.
And when I finished in the money.
Where could we read about this? Because I'm going to read it.
If you Google, it's at the Thoroughbred Daily News. But if you Google Steve DeCaspers NHC or bust, you will see it. You will see those articles come up.
Bust.
Yep. But I'm on Twitter as well. I'm not very active on Twitter, but if you want to reach out and say hello, I'm more than willing to share some insights and connect with people who like horse racing and like Oaklawn Park. Just no Buffalo Bills fans.
And Steve,
no, it's all Steeler country.
Yeah. Well, my Bears, like I said, we're looking for the draft. Connor Bedard broke his jaw. I'm sure. Are you a Blackhawks?
Oh yeah, no, totally.
Yeah,
Dude,
so
that sucks.
He
was on pace for a great season.
I saw the Cubs signed a Japanese relief pitcher the other day. I have to dive into that, but and of course the Bulls are the Bulls until they get rid of their front office and trade Zach Levine. I'm kind of like off that bandwagon.
No, they won a crazy one last night in overtime.
Well, okay. Anything to add, Marco?
Just saw Bolt of Lightning. And,
there it is. There it is.
I think the rain is about to start.
Thank God, because I handicap for rain.
Hey, they better run tomorrow after I put in all this work.
Oh, I know, man. Please run. Please run. All right, guys. Well, I heard something. Something.
The Thunder.
Well, gentlemen, it's been a good show. And as we like to say, let's cash some tickets, baby.
Let's do it.
I'll see you guys.
Bye. See you guys later. I'll be there live tomorrow.